everybody is actually looking forward to owning a house.
I was very, very happy when I got the allocation for the house.
Mortgage can actually work in Nigeria.
Hello, and thanks for joining us on another episode of the program, Everyone Deserves a Home. My name is Aisha Mohammed Ahmed, your anchor. The mandate of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria is to provide affordable mortgages for Nigerian workers who are the contributors of the National Housing Fund. With a shortfall of houses in the country, the FMBN has stepped in to bridge the housing gap by providing affordable houses in order to provide mortgages for its contributors. On this episode of the program, we shall be looking at one of the products of the FMBN and its deliverables within the nation's capital. We shall also bring you stories of the beneficiaries of the National Housing Fund as they tell us about their home ownership journey. We'll take a short break, and when we return, the program will take up fully with news highlights from the diary of the FMBN.
To improve transparency and accountability in managing the NHF funds, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has introduced *219#. *219# is a new way to know the status of your NHF contribution from anywhere. To use this service, dial *219#. Select 1 to update your contact detail. Press 2 to check your contribution status in any month up to the last 5 years. You can also use our mortgage calculator and bulletin board by selecting options 5 and 6 respectively. You can access other services by using direct shortcodes like *219*3# to retrieve your NHF number, *219*4*1# to check your last 5 transactions, and *219*4*2# to check your statement of account. No internet connection required, and it is available on all networks. *219#. Simpler, smarter, faster. Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Everyone deserves a home.
Welcome back. In our news diary tonight, FMBN joins in celebrating the 2024 World Cities Day, just as the management of the bank pledged more support to its partners. Stay with us for details of these and other stories. Stakeholders around the housing sector gathered on the last day of October to celebrate the World Cities Day. The day, which was marked on the 31st of October, rounded off the 31 days annual Urban October celebration.
Youth is understanding that
This year's event was themed Youth Leading Climate and Local Action for Cities, brought together industry experts and stakeholders from around the building industry to celebrate the progress made in the Nigerian building industry, while also addressing the challenges of the industry as well as looking forward with purpose. Honorable Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Architect Ahmed Dengiwa, while speaking during the event, said that Nigeria is part of the celebration because of its commitment to urban sustainability. He said that the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development is a part of the event because of its commitment to tackle the multifaceted challenges of urbanization.
It is a special honor for us all to be here at the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development to lead Nigeria's participation in Urban October. We take pride in joining the international community to tackle the multifaceted challenges of urbanization. Our goal is to raise awareness of these issues within Nigeria and promote collaborative action across all levels, from the local communities to the international stage. We are here today with a shared ambition to build cities that works for everyone, cities where housing is accessible, infrastructure is efficient, and communities are safe and thriving.
Speaking in a goodwill address, the Managing Director, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Shehu Usman Osidi, said that the commemoration of the World Cities Day is an avenue to remind stakeholders of the need to build sustainable cities while actively contributing to the growth of urban centers within the country.
This year's commemoration, focusing on promoting a better urban future, serves as an important reminder of our collective responsibility to shape our cities and communities to be inclusive, resilient, and sustainable. As Nigeria's foremost institution for affordable housing, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria is committed to aligning with this vision by actively contributing to the growth and transformation of our urban centers. We believe that a better urban future begins with access to safe, decent, and affordable housing.
Speaking earlier, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, Dr. Marcus Ogumbiyi, in his welcome address said that the purpose of the gathering is to support the idea of addressing the challenges of urbanization.
By this event, our country is joining the global community in the laudable venture of advancing the interests of national, regional, and global stakeholders on issues of sustainable urbanization.
The Executive Director of the United Nations Human Settlement Program, UN Habitat, Anna Claudia Rosbach, in her address also called on young people to join hands in leading the action for a better urban future.
Sustainable urban planning and housing are at the heart of our fight for a better urban future. Housing is the foundation of sustainable development. It impacts everything from poverty reduction and gender equality to climate action.
Other speakers at the event called on all and sundry within the housing industry to make efforts towards tackling the challenge of rapid urbanization head-on.
The message delivered by the Secretary and the Director of the UN, as if they are giving a message to me and to other youth of this country.
Urban October features two key events: World Habitat Day, which holds on the first Monday of the month, and World Cities Day, observed on October 31st. The Managing Director, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Shehu Usman Osidi, has on behalf of the bank pledged more support to the Nigerian Navy Holdings Limited in doing more business with the organization. Speaking during a courtesy visit by the Group Managing Director and his entourage who visited the bank recently, Osidi commended the organization for being a worthy partner of the bank since they began doing business together.
An Air Vice Marshal.
The Managing Director also stated that the bank will get to know what the needs of the organization are so that it can specifically meet them. He also highlighted some of the products the bank offers its customers, which they can benefit from.
One of which you have benefited, which is the construction loan facility that we have availed you. I'm aware that you have taken one tranche. I don't know why you are not coming for the second tranche. I want to confirm to you that we are ever willing and ready to support the Nigerian Navy in the course of providing houses for personnel. And then we have other products like the FMBN home renovation loan, which the number of contributors are very excited about. Is the 1 million naira loan, and it is because it has less cumbersome documentation process to access. We decided as a bank to create an institutional platform that will allow Nigerians in the diaspora to also contribute to the National Housing Fund and ultimately own homes back home in Nigeria.
Speaking earlier, the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian Navy Holdings Limited, Rear Admiral Hamza Ka-Oje, commended the FMBN for making housing delivery seamless for officers of the Navy. He said the visit was also aimed to seek mortgage credit facilities for the Navy Holdings Limited and, by extension, officers of the Nigerian Navy.
I know what your bank has been doing. We have also benefited on this issue of housing. The Navy Holdings, over time, we have we built houses actually for our personnel, and then our personnel also collect loans.
If you're just tuning in, you're watching Everyone Deserves a Home, a Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria sponsored program aimed to keep you informed and enlightened about the activities of the bank, as well as your stake in the journey towards home ownership. In our next segment, we shall be looking at one of the estates the FMBN is developing for contributors in the NHF scheme as part of its efforts in bridging the housing gap in the country. Stay with us.
Providing affordable mortgages for contributors of the National Housing Fund scheme is the mandate of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. And in order to be able to actively pursue this mandate, the FMBN has stepped in to provide houses so that mortgages can be created for beneficiaries of the NHF scheme.
Availability is relative because yes, you can have houses available, but are not affordable. And so that is actually the reason the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria ventured into construction financing, because ordinarily we are in the business of providing mortgages, which presupposes that the houses will be standing, and then we provide mortgages for individuals to offtake those houses. But because it is either that the houses are not available or houses available are not within the threshold of affordability for our target market, we decided to finance construction so we can control the cost at which such houses are delivered.
One product the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has created is the Ministerial Pilot Housing Scheme. Since its creation, several projects providing affordable houses all over the country have been built for customers of the bank. This is a Ministerial Pilot Housing Estate located in Bwari, Abuja. It is an ongoing project that consists of 2- and 3-bedroom semi-detached bungalows. It is being constructed by Luxia Construction Limited. Architect Hashim Ibrahim, the project manager, tells us more about the project.
We have about 120 units in all, which comprises of 50 units of 2-bedroom and 70 units of 3-bedroom. All in all, supposed to be for 2-bedrooms supposed to go for 666 units, while the 3-bedrooms go for 70 units. Yeah, the total amount for this project goes for 850 million naira. So, but we're still waiting for more payment, though the first, second, and third tranches, as I said earlier, has been disbursed. So we are still waiting for the final disbursement so that we'll be able to hand over the project.
The project has a total of 136 units. 120 units are already on ground, while 16 more units are expected once the 4th tranche of the payment is released. With this tranche, infrastructure, which has already begun, is also expected to be completed.
The project is in phases, and the disbursement is also in phases. So we've been given the 4th, 2nd, and 3rd tranche of the payment. So we're waiting for the 4th tranche now so that we'll be able to complete and deliver the project. We have 2 sewage soccerways. We've done about, let's say, about 40% or 50% of the drainages. We are doing curbs, which is the walkway. We are also on the walkway. We started the walkways too. The lightning, we've put in the lightning cables. I mean, the poles and the cables are also on ground. And then we also have a borehole, which is for the water. So we have 1 borehole on ground. Though we're expected, the more we go, maybe by the time they pay us the next tranche, we're able to drill more borehole. I think we're expected to do just 2 borehole here. You understand? We're expected to continue with the other tranches that are being given to us.
Off-takers for this project have already been drawn. This is because the FMBN does not want projects left unoccupied. It has therefore ensured a system whereby before projects are completed, off-takers are already selected. Mortgages for these houses will be created through the rent-to-own product.
The selection is being made because the Federal Mortgage Bank make their own advert. They have their own customers in which they advertise to them on the project, then we too, Luxia, the construction company, we have our own marketing department in which we market around. So some of the off-takers come from Luxia, while some come from Federal Mortgage Bank. So that's how we got our own selection. Where we selected our off-takers. And mainly, as I've said earlier, mainly the off-takers are civil servants.
The contractor of this project describes the partnership with the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria as a seamless one. With the rising cost of building materials, the FMBN as well as the contractors of this project are keen on quality delivery.
You know, in construction, definitely you face challenges in terms of change of price in building materials. So definitely we still work with that. Anything we are doing, we have to work with the current price of building materials in the market so that we'll be able to bid, to be able to give a better project. So in terms of high cost of building materials in the market, yeah, it do affect us too. They do affect us in which, but still with that, we still have to manage and see how we can get out of it and bring out a good project out of it too.
Job creation is another goal of the bank through its projects. And this project, like all other projects of the bank, has created opportunities for many Nigerians.
The Bwari Area Council itself, it has given most of the youths, especially the artisans, the ministerial, even the laborers, who has given a lot of opportunity to come and display their talent. So in which, after giving us what we wanted from them, we also pay them, in which assist them in one way or the other. So from that, we have been providing a lot of job opportunity for people around this Bwari Area Council, even outside Bwari Area Council, because people do come from outside, even from Niger State, from Kaduna. People do come when they see there's something like this going on. They will call, they want to come and see if they can get something doing. And so far, so good. A lot of people have been calling and have benefited from it.
The latest couple in town.
Good day, sir.
How are you? Oh, sit down, sit down, sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Drinks?
No, we're fine, sir.
How was the moon experience?
It was quite an experience.
How about house?
We are renting at the moment, but we intend to save enough to own our own house, right?
Why not avoid all those Shylock landlords and own a house up front? With the average income and cost of building houses today in Nigeria, mortgage is the best option. No sweat. I tell you what, that was how I got my first house, and I've never regretted it.
To make good homes, and by implication, a good society, an individual is expected to have an abode from which to take off and return at the end of each day. At the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, everyone deserves a home. Come join us at FMBN and let's shelter Nigeria together.
What better way to prove the efficacy of the NHF scheme than for us to bring you actual stories of people who have benefited from it? In our next segment, we will share the stories of some beneficiaries of the National Housing Fund scheme and how they became homeowners. Stay with us and learn how they became homeowners and get inspired to also begin your home ownership journey.
I can assure all Nigerians that if you apply, once it is available, you will get.
Definitely the scheme is free.
It's a big testimony to stop paying rent.
Excellent. Seriously excellent.
It works and is real.
Abdulkadir Isa is the proud and happy owner of a 3-bedroom apartment at APDC Capital Estate, Dede, Abuja. Thanks to the National Housing Fund scheme, his dreams of owning a home at his prime became fulfilled. His dream came true because after finding out about the scheme, he was inquisitive to find out more.
I found out a referral from a friend, and then just small inquisitive nature of mine to just dig further, and that's just. But most of the information I got online. Yes, and that was how we keyed in. We spoke to 1 or 2 people, and the only option left was to go to FMBN. I met a staff, and he just gave us a guide. And he said we should get a developer first we got a developer, and the developer gave us a PMI, and that's how we keyed in.
Abdul Qadir is very excited about being a homeowner. He tells us how he feels.
Of course, it's always positive, you know. You sleep differently, the feeling is actually different, because the burden of getting to save a lot of money for somebody called Mr. Landlord is off the hook. So it feels different and it's actually nice. Yeah, it could be stressful, but it's better than being a tenant. Yeah.
One beauty about the arrangement is the flexibility it allows a homeowner to modify his or her house to one's taste. And for Abdul Qadir, he had the chance to modify his house to his satisfaction.
I would say it's good, but in my own case, I did carcass. So I was part of my finishing. So I supervised, and in fact, I chose what I wanted, the quality. So I can say it's okay for me because we've not had issues since I've been in the house.
The repayment, he says, is very convenient for him because of the cheap interest rate and the long span of time he has to pay off the loan.
For me, it's convenient because when you want to talk about convenience, you look at the time span. Because conventional banks will not give you beyond 10 years, and stuff like that, and the rates will be high. But in this case, it's fair, and since they are using maybe your age or years of service, you can take as high as 20 years or so. So it's okay. I don't have issues with the repayment, most especially if your total annual repayment is not up to the cost if you were renting the apartment. So it's fair. It's even a good deal for me.
His call to contributors and Nigerians is for them to show more interest, make more inquiries, and be more patient.
When you talk to people, especially civil servants, there's this negative impression about owning a house and through the NHF that it doesn't work, too cumbersome, But, from my own assessment, I just find that it's both parties will share the blame. First of all, I'll blame potential off-takers of not being keen and not wanting to just dig. Because if you listen to what people tell you, you will not key in. But if you go further, you see that it's easier than the way it's been talked about. It's about patience and just raising small monies, which is normal because the project is intensive. Now you don't get a house. A house is not like buying clothes or something. So you need some patience because definitely we know that in most cases you get to wait for months or even a year before the repayment matures and stuff like that. But it works. It's real and it works because at least I am occupying one, and I know a lot of people too that have keyed in. My friends have keyed in after, and at least they are about getting their own houses now. So it works, and we call on, I think anybody should just, if you are not comfortable with the information you have, I think you should walk to the office and get clarification.
Thanks for staying with us through this edition of the program. Visit any of our offices nearest to you for more information on how you can kickstart your home ownership journey, or log on to our website on www.fmbn.gov.ng for more information about ORS. Don't forget to keep a date with us again next week, same time, same station, for another exciting package. See you next week.